That might have been a Facebook thing. Welcome back, part 2 of the live Daily B show with Sammy Lewis. So it just kicked me out. I think Facebook might have been playing up a little bit, playing funny buggers. So I'll wait for everyone to jump back on. Hey Val. Hey guys. I'll just wait for a few guys to jump back on. Yeah, it just kicked me out for some reason. So I don't know if it maybe don't fall back on the chair. I used to get in so much trouble at school for swinging on the chair. And I think I've maybe fallen back twice. Hey Stevie. Hey bro. Steve, you might want to watch the first part of this interview with Sam, bro. It was very interesting. We were talking about non-duality and manifestation. It's really cool. Yeah. So Sam's over in Vanuatu having some first world issues with his internet. Hey Charlene. You're holding on though, I see. Yeah. No, that's my balancing up. Yeah, I'm holding on. Hey, you're back. I'm back with a vengeance. Just waiting for Batman to come join us. My favourite subject, Steve. Yeah, bro. So, yeah, Sam is running one of, if not the largest charity companies in New Zealand and across Australia as well, and about to tap into the American market, which is really exciting. And he grew up with his mother, who was a yoga teacher, and his dad, who has found his way into some pretty heavy spiritual practices and meditation practices, and just had a pretty big impact on Sam's life and on the way he runs his business, on the way he runs himself, and it's really profound. Like for me, a lot of the people that I have interacted with and do interact with are not yet in the space financially or professionally that the majority of society look at as ultra successful. So it's all good for someone to say, oh yeah, you can manifest this and that and the other, right? And it's like, you're driving a Prius, mate, and you're living with 3 people in a share house. Like, show me that you're manifesting something. But then when it comes from people like this fine-looking gentleman, I'm just saying, Sam, like from where I've come from and the people I've interacted with, it's great to hear people talk about manifesting, and it's like, all right, that's all good. You say you can manifest stuff, but you're driving a Prius and you're living in a share house and you're on Centrelink. So why should I believe you? But then when it's coming from someone that's actually gone through the nuts and bolts and created what in a majority of society's eyes deems as successful as well, it just holds a different weight to it, I guess. And it's a good affirmation for those around that haven't reached that level of financial and professional abundance or success just yet. I think, can you talk about maybe just touch on that just while it's on my mind as well, about that marrying up those people in different positions in the world.
Yeah. Look, for me, it really comes down to being able to bring this into the now. Like, I mean, I am rich, and the idea of that I am is bringing it into the now moment. But a lot of people are thinking about what they want in the future, so they're manifesting. They're trying to manifest stuff with affirmation that is all about the power of now. Okay, I am stating that I am right now rich, successful, happy, healthy, whatever it may be, but they're thinking about it in the future. So they're thinking about something that they want in the future, yet trying to manifest it in the now using an affirmation. It doesn't work. I mean, if you're waiting for rainy days or you're saving for rainy days, chances are you're probably going to have rainy days. That tomorrow never comes kind of thing. So the real power for me has been able to bring it into the now. And as I mentioned, that's been through basically understanding that there is only ever is now. And that's not and this is I think you said it perfectly, and I'm so glad you said that. It's not a knowledge, it's a knowing. So it's an embodiment of it through an experiential thing. And this is why I'd recommend meditation so much if this is the game you want to play, because if you can experience it. I mean, some people say they go out and take ayahuasca and all this sort of stuff and experience that in that way. From my experience of that sort of stuff, it can be it's not quite as clean as what the absolute should be, or absolute is. So it's and this is the thing, this idea of manifestation in the grand idea of it is fantastic, okay, but it's one of those things. It's not a fucking grand idea. It is what fucking is. Like it is 110% a thing, okay. If you think this could possibly be a thing, it's not going to work for you. You know what I mean? It's not going to work the same way. Yes. As if it's just like it is. It's like fucking the law of attraction, or the law of creation, I call it. It's like, if I was to get on here and try to explain gravity, and this is why my thing drops, and I fucking don't even know how gravity works, but you know what I mean? Nobody would really question gravity, yeah?
It's another illusion.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But there is no questioning around that. Everybody kind of understands that in this world, there is a thing called fucking gravity, and on this planet it happens. So if you understand the law of, which, and that's a universal law, this is a cosmic law. So a cosmic law actually governs all the universal laws, okay? Because in some universes, I mean, we're getting fucking a bit woohoo and into dimensions now, but in some universes, gravity probably isn't a thing. You know what I mean? But this is a cosmic law, and it's the law of creation. So if I can believe that, like I believe black and white, like I believe fucking gravity, like there is no doubt in my mind that this exists, why wouldn't it work? And that's the problem I find, is a lot of people don't really fully understand it. Not fully experience it, okay, and fully know it.
Believe it.
And believe it. And it's a knowing, not a knowledge. Like most people on this call, or most people that I talk to about manifestation, intellectually understand the idea behind it. But unless they've got a complete and utter knowing, like you fucking know, like a knowledge is something that's relearned, but this is a knowing. You feel it in your heart, not your head. Yeah. That's why manifestation works for the rare few. And I mean, I'm under a big belief that these elite powers in the world, okay, have generally mastered this idea of manifestation, and they understand something that other people aren't understanding. Unfortunately, this power of manifestation has a flip side to it, has a balcony side to it. Okay. And unfortunately, that is power can corrupt.
Okay, there's a bit of delay there, but you're back. So, are you with me? Can you hear me? Let's manifest some good fucking connection, eh?
Is it you or me? Because sometimes Vanuatu internet's funny. It's either great or it doesn't work at all, and it is working. So
yeah, it is. It's beautiful, beautiful. So with this amazing internet that's just been bestowed upon us, talk to me about your understanding of the mirror work, and because it sort of taps into that non-duality, where people that are coming into our lives are essentially here to show us aspects of our inner world to help us evolve and learn.
Okay. for me, it's an understanding that what will be, and everything is perfect. And you know, and this is completely the flip side of the illusion to manifestation, because manifestation, you're creating everything that you're going along. This is more about letting the universe just happen. Okay, and if the universe is happening and you understand that it has its divine purpose, and who the fuck are you to get involved with that divine purpose, that people come into your life, I find it easier to see things for what it is, whether that perception, whether my brain and my human perception makes that good or bad. Because this is the thing, if you're talking from a divine outlook, or, you know, if the universe is controlled by the absolute, or the universe is part of the absolute actually, then it doesn't play in the realm of good, bad, up, down, left, right, all that sort of stuff. It is just experiential. Yeah. Like for example, who are we to say, living in Australia, New Zealand, Vanuatu, having a blessed life, a Westerner's life, who are we to say that that is a better life than someone who grew up in Somalia and had his parents murdered and nearly starved to death, maybe died of starvation? Maybe the spiritual lessons that went on for that Somalian kid were well above what we could comprehend in our Western lifestyle. And who's to say that that's good or bad? So to let things come into your life and understand they come into your life for a reason, and just to roll with it. And things seem to pass a lot quickly, or a lot faster. Did that kind of make sense? I think it's kind of calling yourself out. Like we're one of 8 billion humans on this planet, and then there's all the other species, and I don't know if you believe if they have souls or not. I do. But we're one of 8 billion humans, and then there's other species, whether we're more evolved or not, who fucking knows? Okay. On this world, in this solar system, in this universe, and then you talk about, you know, multi-dimensional universes, or, you know, multiverses and stuff. Fuck it, like we are a grain of sand. You know what I mean? And to get so involved in our lives and what happened, just let it fucking be. Just let it come in and happen, and it's happening for a reason. There is something divine working its magic behind the scenes, and let it be.
Yeah, love it. And that's, I guess that is sort of my understanding is how the non-duality and the mirroring mirrors up, is that when you, like you're saying, you put out your intention, or you set yourself a really clear objective, and then you let go of it, and then the how sort of presents itself. And so it's not that we've consciously manifested Bob from next door to come over and complain about the shrub on my fence, but for whatever reason, that's a necessary part to play in the journey of the how getting me to that end goal of the thing that I've put out there to manifest. And so it's
I think we're talking about two things, because manifestation definitely it is bending the universe to what your mind wants, you know what I mean, to what your perceived idea is, where the other side of it is and this is the funny thing, because manifestation works really well with a touch, or not even a touch, an underlying essence of surrender. So you kind of put it out there and then you surrender, because what surrender does is it removes attachment, it removes the stickiness of it. Okay, it removes the want and the grabbing and the holding on tight. I mean, if you hold on tight to stuff, I mean, you're gonna get sore hands, sort of thing. So it removes that part of it. I think from a non-dualistic approach, I mean, I have a look at it like, if it's not permanent and present, if it's got any sort of separation, black, white, up, down, you, me, male, female, black, white, whatever, if it's got any sort of separation, it's just an illusion. So this is my meditation. I call anything that comes up in this life, okay, and it's not I do it continuously throughout the day, I try to, but in meditation, I call it bullshit. So any thought that comes into my mind, rather than letting it pass, I call it out. I call it out as ego, okay? So I keep calling it out as ego. So like things come into your life, and things are harder to catch. Like, I mean, you're having... issues with the partner, you know what I mean? Because that's an emotional thing. It's like fucking rah, and you get really, really angry. So those things are hard to go, all right, cool, this is just a lesson, this is just part of the ego, let it go. But some things are easier to let go. Some things, you know, like road rage, for example, I find that very easy to let go. Cool, all right, cool, emotion, cool, excellent, part of the ego, not real, let's just keep going on with life, you know what I mean? So from a non-dualistic perspective, it's about calling anything that is emotional, anything that has separation, bullshit, okay? And calling it illusion, calling it ego, whatever your word is for it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. I can just imagine you sitting there in a coaching session. All you say is bullshit. That's bullshit too. That's bullshit.
I kind of do.
I get it now.
I kind of do. I kind of do. $1,000 US an hour, guys. It's bullshit. It's a funny, like it's funny. I was coaching some of the guys in Man Cave, and one of the guys in Man Cave, and it was just, and that was it. And he was going into all this, and I said, Robbie, like, I shouldn't even say, sorry, Robbie, I used your name, but I said, mate, we've gone through this, we understand it. I'm like, what you're talking about, what is it? And he goes, oh, it's not real, it's bullshit. And it was just like this. It was quite a penny dropping moment. This only happened about a week ago, but it was just this penny dropping moment of fuck yes, all right, cool. Nice. You know, all this stuff, this whole story that I made real in my mind, once able to just call it, it is. And this is where it comes in. It is a lot easier to call that bullshit when you've had a glimpse of what is real, if that makes sense. And this is why I just keep flogging meditation here. It's like I'm an ambassador for meditation, but to be able to get that, however you get that glimpse of what is real, if you can have that glimpse of what is real, you just know nothing else even comes close to it.
That's nothing what I find with a lot of the yogic teachers. Yeah, and that's what I find with a lot of the yogic teachers and the monks and the sort of heads that teach this type of work, is they're so playful and jovial that people ask them these really hard-hitting questions, and they just like have a little chuckle and they're just so joyful about the shit they're talking about, because it's just like the whole cosmic joke to them is just this all bullshit. And so it's really fun and playful when you can get to that stage and have these conversations about the most tear-jerking things, and it's like, well, it's kind of funny in a way as well.
It is. It's like, and you know Aaron Sager. I saw you in a photo with him. But me and Aaron have these conversations quite regularly, and we quite both enjoy them because we come from the same. I cut from the same cloth, I suppose. So we're having this conversation. He sends me a message, and I forget what it is, but he's like, try to explain this. So I try to explain it to him, and then he comes back, and we get into this big fucking intellectual, spiritual ego fucking wank about it, right? You know, swinging our spiritual dicks around. And then I'll go ask my dad. And my dad, he goes, what do you mean? He goes, read the statement again. And all my dad did was break down the statement the way it's actually fucking written. And I'm like, there was a beautiful simplicity to it. And I told Aaron, and he's like, it was like this, get the fuck out of the way, mind. And the mind will just, the mind likes to run. And then the ego, and I'm talking to Aaron, I'm like, Aaron asked me for advice, so I'm going to give him some sort of fucking intellectual fucking, spiritual answer, which is quite funny.
That's it. And people, this is what we've been waiting for. This is how you ejaculate, this is how you come without ejaculating. Did you hear that? I felt that was worth more of a laugh. I got. I said, that's how you come without ejaculating.
Yeah, pretty. Your mind likes to,
run rampant. It does. And look, I'm just checking the time as well. We've flown through an hour really, really, really quickly and really easily. But just before we do wrap it up, can you touch on, because there was a couple of questions regarding how this relates to people that aren't in business or that are in, is it related to certain businesses? And I don't know if you caught me in between the gap that we had there, but I just basically said that we're all in business and our business is ourselves, no matter what you're really doing. So that's what it relates to. But can you maybe elaborate in your own words for people
Is
in
this
that state
pertaining
that
to
ask about that.
manifestation?
It was pertaining to manifestation and the non-duality, I think, when we were discussing that. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, manifestation can be for anything in life. You know what I mean? It can be for love, but don't. This is like a big rule in do not manipulate other people through manifestation. So if you want to marry John or want to be with John, don't manifest for John. Manifest for the happiness and the joy and the love around a loving relationship, not so much a person, because it's a line that you shouldn't cross in it. It's fucking with other people. And if they don't have the right protection or anything like that, it actually can lead down that road, and it's not a nice way to start a relationship. But it can be manifest. You can manifest. It doesn't have to be for business. No, not at all. You can manifest anything you want in life. You know what I mean? Relationships, maybe a new job, whatever it may be. So it's, a happiness. Look, the big thing with this will probably explain it. Okay. What I do is I look at the desired, emotion around it. So, okay, I want to be rich, for example. Okay, cool. I want to build my house on top of the mountain. Okay. Why do I want to build it? Because it makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel successful. Okay. How does accomplished and successful look? It makes me feel happy. It gives me joy. Happy or joy. Okay. So I have a look at that underlying emotion. Okay. And then it's about bringing that emotion of happiness and joy into my life here. Now, whether that's a fucking mountaintop mansion or whatever, or that's love in your life, or that's pizza on a Friday night, or whatever the fuck you want to manifest in your life, the underlying emotion is going to be the same. And if you have a look into anything that you want and you ask yourself, okay, so why, it should come down to happiness and joy and that general vigor for life. And so whatever you're excited about within life, find that emotion and then connect with that emotion. So yes, it can work for anything.
That makes me sort of feel that it could be hidden within that, the answer to what you're trying to figure out about cutting down the laws of time as well. Because it's the perception or the illusion of, I want that house on the hill, but it's that underlying emotion which you can have right here, right now.
Definitely. But then this is the thing. Yes, this is the thing. As you said, I can understand that very well. Okay. And yes, I play with that as from an intellectual, but have I experienced the illusion of time? And do you know what I mean? Is it experiential in me, or is it just a concept in my head? Because when we talked before, we said the power of it is when it's like gravity. Yeah. Okay. So when I explained before, it's like gravity, and we believe it like fucking like gravity. Like we're 110% believers in it. There is no doubt in my mind. Okay. For me to go, yes, that's the trick. You bring the emotion of into your present life, the power of now. That's the power of now. But is there still some sort of conceptual belief in my head that believes in time? Because I wear a fucking nice Swiss watch. You know what I mean? So does that make sense? So if we can if we can fully believe, like gravity, that concept of time doesn't exist, and I'm yet to find out how I can experientially bring that into my life. But you're 100% right. You're 100% right with what you're saying. It's basically bring the happiness, live how you would like to be, and if that underlying emotion is happiness, live in that frequency now, and it just happens to manifest.
So do you think maybe the concept of wanting to experience that collapse of time is actually like we're putting a label onto that of how that needs to look, which is the opposite of what we're having is this linear timeline. So we think, well, it needs to be the opposite of that, but actually we're already doing it.
Everything we've talked about is a bullshit concept because it's come out of my mind through my mouth down this shitty internet connection and to the public. So yes, definitely it is.
The only truth was what the doc said earlier.
Pretty much. He's well more aware than me. So
Awesome, bro. Look, I want to touch on a few more things, but I reckon we'll wrap it up there. Is there something that you would like to, I don't know, share or pass on, or anything you'd like to pass on to the guys that are watching as a final message or word of advice or something funny just to spruik out there?
Something funny. Yeah, look, oh, you've got me off guard here. Look, just with this, I mean, if a lot of people on here are, you know, spiritual seekers or whatever, the big thing is, for me, spirituality has turned into $1 billion industry. So there's so many different modalities and different ways and different ways to mystify spirituality. Okay. And the reason it's turned into $1 billion industry is people have confused it. Okay. Because you can't sell something that's fucking basic. So if you want to delve into this sort of stuff, find the most simple and basic teachings. Okay. And don't try to understand them too much. Don't try to explain them. Don't try to psychoanalyze them and why they work. Just have a belief in it, because it is the one thing with the New Age movement, and it's been happening. I mean, the New Age movement's been happening since the 60s, but with this New Age movement, it's mystified. It's made people seek for knowledge, which is fucking so counterintuitive to what spirituality actually is, because it has zero to do with knowledge and everything to do with just fucking being. And unfortunately, that's what how money's corrupted it. Religion was probably a beautiful thing once as well, but then money got involved, corrupted the fuck out of that. And it seems to be doing the same thing with quote unquote spirituality or the new age movement. So find something that's basic, simple, and just be happy. You can be happy right now.
Yeah. Just let it be. Let it be on the daily be. I love it. Bro, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sharing some epic concepts. Yeah. It's been
Thanks,
really
brother.
cool.
It's been a lot of fun. Wish you best of luck in the show and stuff like that. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to add me on Facebook, or put comments in there. I'll have a good look through them tonight and possibly tomorrow morning, if you've got any questions. But feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, thanks for having us on the show. It's been great.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. See you guys soon.
Cool. Take care.